Welcome to presentation of Ambicon ASCS, the first commercially available professional solution for ambient sound capture, processing and control of background audio signal for legal recording purposes. Ambicon is trademark registered by company Mediatech Limited in Bratislava, Slovakia. Company Mediatech is a leading specialist in the field of professional audio and electroacoustics. It has been 16 years in business and it has ISO 9001 certification. It has 22 employees and the team of Ambicon combines more than 16 years of pro audio and 11 years of ATC ATM systems experience. As we see it, the main safety elements in ATC are as follows. The Ambicon system belongs to this last category, where one is looking to reconstruct what actually happened. The reason for designing Ambicon ASCS was this recommendation from ICAO, which is based on real accidents where there was a need to fill the gaps between the official recording voices at the controls working positions. Based on this ICAO recommendation, Ambicon system has been developed, and the objective of Ambicon system is to provide professional tool to meet this ICAO recommendation. Why Ambicon system? Well, let's look at the layout and where is the Ambicon positioned in the complete room of the controllers. It is an independent and separate system because we don't want to interfere with the voice switch or the existing legal recording system. This is an additional system that is here in blue connected to the existing recorder. So I like to stress that the Ambicon ASC has not own recording unit itself, but it provides the best audio quality and intelligible speech quality for the recording system. Why Ambicon again? It has the active digital audio processing. It's very important because one needs on the reconstruction to have clear speech voice. It has also had the ability to identify the voices, who said what. It has a digital noise cancelling circuit that will take the signal from the background noise in the room and actually use it as a reference for the denoising of the signal, which means conversations or speech that is buried down in the noise becomes clear and readable. At Ambicon we have tried a big number of microphones and to find the microphones suitable for different locations in consoles, on the desktop or ceiling. It is important, especially when in the tower application, that the microphone has very good RF immunity. Sometimes the antenna is placed just 2 meters above the location of the microphone. This is a layout of national system that Ambicon has delivered to one ANSP in one country. It covers the main airport with ACC, tower and APC. It towers remote towers, remote airports, and one regional airport with own APP and tower. As you can see, all these units are accessible from the remote control and monitoring system. Again, it's important that this system is password protected and all fault messages are provided via SNMP agent to the global surveillance system of the system at the NAS provider. Ambicon has provided this successful installation that has been in now 18 months in the service. One very important detail when one wants to install Ambicon system is that it does not interrupt the provider's operation during the implementation. This is due to, as we've seen on 2 slides before, that it is totally independent system. So one doesn't need to stop the VCS or stop recording system. One has a business as usual. The only interruption is to have physical access to the location of each control working position and to make the small physical installations there and then to move on the next. But we never interrupt operation of the existing and very vital systems as used at the ANSP. And also the engineer's ability to design and to commission the system is very good. This is due to that, thanks to the installation we have done with the national installation, that we have got a lot of valuable feedback from the user, and we have been able to test different microphone setups, different types of microphones. We have been able to make different adjustments for the sound cleaning, etc. And this all feedback and all this experience is now available for every future customer of Ambicon ASCS. There will be some future enhancements of the system. There will be a unit that will convert the analog audio output of the Ambicon ASCS unit to voice over IP. So if you have a central or remote recording systems, you can send the voice or the voice signal from each Ambicon unit over the LAN network to the recording system that can be in completely different part of the country. The next thing we will do is this, and that's a complete test of the whole system. The system as it is today has a complete test that is testing the electronics in the background, and is also testing that there is a connection between the remote control monitoring system, the technical room or department, and each unit everywhere in the country wherever they may be located. Saying that, there can be a physical damage to the microphone, there can be maybe some other things that happen. Somebody by accident disconnects a microphone cable from the unit. So now we will be able to provide a full acoustic loop test. That test takes only 3 or 4 seconds, does not need very high level signal, and can be performed as often as you like. It can be done in the middle of the night or manually. So this will be more down to the routine you like to use at your facility. We have also established cooperation with the CAAs in order to make a standard that doesn't exist. There's no standard today. The ICAO has recommendation for a function or solution, or they just say what one should do, but they don't tell how. There is no quantification of any technical specifications or performance data. We are now in the process to establish this data in cooperation with the providers, so they will make sense and they can be used in the technical specifications in the future. The long-term premium service program consists of following elements. We expect the customer to do the first line service locally. It will be based mainly on the messages they will get from the remote monitoring system. The second line service is based on exchange of the units, and in the premium service it will be done within 5 working days. Furthermore, each unit that will be sent back to the customer will be actually set up and tested prior to the shipment, which means that it can be just put into operation, and it should have all the values and settings as the unit that has been replaced. This is based due to that we will have image of the system, and we will also have a tracking of the system, so which means in cooperation with the user we will receive the copy of the changes maybe every half year or whenever they do changes. So we have the latest version of their updates, how they adjusted the systems or each unit, and based on that we can ship the unit with the same adjustments when they will eventually require a replacement unit. There also is an element which is defined number of hours of free consultation per year. This can be negotiate how much it should be on small system and complex system. I think we will find the suitable number of hours for every system installation. What is also important is obsolescence and last order. We have guarantee that the hardware will have 10 years life cycles, which means that we have guarantee and to satisfy the requirements that the ANSPs usually have of the life cycle, saying that if some parts of the system becomes obsolete or will become obsolete, we will give a message to the user to tell them that now is time to have the last order or to maybe plan some changes. But this is one of the things that we automatically go into this service. How to design a successful solution? The important main requirements will be discussed in the next few slides, the design elements and technical elements. Let's look at the main important requirements. These requirements are as they've been set by the ANSP provider that we designed and delivered and commissioned the system for. And first, of course, is on top of the list is the high speech quality and intelligibility of the recorded signal. What we have learned from the investigators who investigate the situations that has been occurred, and is that they also need to be able to identify the voices, who said what. So this is also a very important parameter. Of course, it's very important that one can have remote access to each unit anywhere in the network, and to every parameter they can adjust to. If there are changes maybe in the tower 300 kilometers from the technical room, you don't have to drive there. You can just sit at your remote control monitoring system, log on each unit and change the parameters for the optimum or to accommodate or absorb the changes that has been done in the environment. Password protection is on several levels. So there is also satisfied the requirements is satisfied for no unauthorized access, and the compatibility with any existing system and recording system is there, because Ambicon only provides the audio signal either as analog 0 dBm balanced audio line, or in the future or near future as the voice over IP. So whichever recording system you have today or plan to buy in the future, the Ambicon will be able to connect to it. It has full flexibility. It's cliche to say the system is like Lego, but it is, because we can set up different number of units, we can reconfigure, we can make changes, so we can follow the growth or changes of your rooms and the places where you have your controllers. So you have the full future-proof, I would say, guarantee that your system will be exactly as you need it at any time. Already we mentioned that the continuous system self-testing and monitoring, it's testing itself several times per minute and hour, and it will send eventual fault messages to the monitoring system. There is a log, a printer log that can be done. One can look at what happened at every single unit. But this is more complex, so this is something we like to demonstrate by personal visit, that we can fully demonstrate the administration of the system. So the design elements are important. First of all, this is not as much ATC type of know-how that is needed. It's actually the know-how is needed is the electroacoustics. How to capture sound where to put the microphones, which type of microphone, and how to process the sound so you have the best intelligible signal. And that's what people at Ambicon and Mediatech has. They have this long experience in this field. There is also experience in the ATC field. I personally have been 11 years now in this field, working mainly with the voice communication systems. So we have the full knowledge of what is required and how the NSP providers things and what is important for them. And we also understand the design of the control working positions. So we know that there is very often limited space. We know therefore how to use different microphones at which location to get the optimum placement and little or even no interference with the existing systems that needs to be placed in the consoles. The technical elements are, we have tested tens of microphones, and we have narrowed these microphones to a group of 3, which I show in the next slide. Saying that, there are also situations where no one of these 3 preferred microphones will work optimally, but we have about a range to choose more than 100 microphones, so we can always find the microphones that will fit to your location and for your need and to cover the area that needs to be covered. The processing unit is very small, 1 unit, and it's 40 watt consumption, and it's based on the platform of very renowned manufacturer. So we didn't invent tool or that is already there. The platform is perfect for this purpose, but we have developed our own parts of the software, and the whole control monitoring software is our own software. But this is done in cooperation with one of the major manufacturers of audio platforms. The Ambisoft's audio control software is the software that controls the parameters of the audio settings for each unit and each microphone. And the Ambinet is the software that controls and monitors the functionality of the system. It just check that the system is healthy and it works at 24 hours, 365 days per year. Let's have a look what are the success key elements to actually design a good solution. It is utmost important that one has a close cooperation with the user. Means that we have drawings, we know how the console shall look like, we know where they place the equipment, so we can choose the best solution. This actually is the most important part and key to successful final installation. All rooms and towers are different, and we will design individually for each location the solution that best suited for this specific location. This shows an optimal microphone setup. You can see that this is the controller and usually the assistant, and you can see that we use 3 microphones. This is really the solution that captures clearly every word that has been said, also from the people behind. For example, if the supervisor comes and gives some instruction from the area behind the controllers, it will be captured clearly. The whole idea with why we use multiple microphones is not only to add and cover bigger area, but the system here, the Ambicon unit, is actually checking which microphone has the best signal and will prefer this signal. At the same time, the other microphones will provide a kind of reference for noise and will be used for the noise cancelling unit to actually reduce the noise, which means to clean up the signal. As you can see, these units are actually matrix, which means it has 8 inputs, 8 outputs, so we can combine any microphones into any outputs. And based again on feedback from the users, and based on feedback also from future users, is that we can provide one output where is the signal processed. And also we can provide exactly the same microphones but with unprocessed signal. So one can record both, and in this way one can fulfill the argument that one also likes to listen to signal that has not been processed, or somebody can say tampered, and one can also compare with a signal that is clean, which means here probably you don't hear everything clearly, but it is as it will be recorded if you didn't use active processing, but here you will be able to actually hear what has been said. So you have both. You have the unprocessed signal mixed from these microphones, and you have the processed signal mixed from the same microphones. These are the microphones we are using, these three main types. Mainly we use this microphone here and this. This microphone is based for mounting in the console, but it has very special power diagram. It actually is cardioid, even it only builds so much out of the panel, in the front of the panel. And the cardioid has an angle, which means you can locate it above the controller, but it will cover the area at the head and the desk of the controller. So this is a very special microphone, very suitable for the console installation. This microphone we use for the desktop. For example, in the tower it can be used, or desktop also at the console. Here are the specifics of the main specifics of the audio control unit. I already mentioned that it has audio matrix, advanced digital audio processing. It has very low consumption, it takes very little space, so it can be installed directly inside the consoles. And it has advanced digital audio processing, cancellation, which is based on adaptive room modeling. The parameters that can be changed or controlled remotely or locally are as follows. There are about 50 parameters all in all. These are the main parameters. So as you can see, there is a lot of possibilities to exactly adjust the signal and audio quality exactly to your location. And here are some electrical and environmental and approvals. So this, again, the hardware fulfill all the international requirements and standards and can be used on any voltage and in the normal working temperatures. It runs on Windows, not the unit itself, but the control monitoring software on the PC will run on any type of Windows from XP and upwards, and it can perform the full configuration of every unit everywhere, of every element. Again, we already touched on that. It has password protected access. It has the ability to restart a unit even remotely, and it has the ability to collect all the fault messages and to put them on the SNMP agent and send them to the global control monitoring system. Just a quick look. This is one of the graphic pages when you adjust the audio, which is the Ambisoft. And here we have the Ambinet monitoring software that completely has 24 hours continuous surveillance of unlimited number of units. So again, the system can grow with you, and it is based on communication via Ethernet. This is a typical page you will see on the Ambinet, where you can see the units, the IP address, test, or any information can be also taken from this by clicking on each unit, and you will see detailed information, when it has been restarted, what happened to the unit. You have a full log, and log also can be printed out. So there is a large log page which we don't have here on this presentation, but everything is there, so you can track back in time every single event with every unit. Thank you very much for your time and attention. For more information, visit our web pages, or why not take direct contact with us so we can discuss your new and future Ambicon project. Goodbye and thank you.